The gentleman from Oregon is recognized for 2.5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you, Mr. Polis, for yielding. I rise in opposition to the rule on H.R. 34, which is now the vehicle for the 21st Century Cures Act. Although I understand the detailed rules of our chamber, I am deeply disappointed that the underlying bill, the Tsunami Warning Education and Research Act, was completely stripped out and replaced with unrelated language. The Tsunami Warning Education and Research Act is bipartisan. It was passed by voice vote on January 7th of 2015. A similar version has passed the Senate. We've worked out our differences, and this legislation is ready to be signed into law, and it is vital for our West Coast communities. My constituents on the Oregon coast know that it's a matter of when, not if, our community will face a Cascadia subduction zone earthquake and tsunami. Most of the city of Seaside, including all of its public schools, are located in the tsunami inundation zone. It's some of my youngest constituents, the students in Seaside, who have been most vocal about keeping their community safe. Recently, I met with the students there at the high school. They've spoken all over the state about the dangers they face from tsunami. Their presentation was very strong. They made a case for moving their schools out of the tsunami zone. It helped the community pass a bond measure earlier this month to move the schools. And that's a positive step for Seaside, but there is so much more to be done. I have an app on my phone. Almost every day there's an earthquake off the coast of Alaska or Hawaii. 2 days ago, there were 2 earthquakes off the coast of Oregon. When there's a nearshore tsunami, the warning time is about 15 minutes. That's all. The Tsunami Education and Research Act would help communities up and down the entire coast by strengthening the warning system, providing more assistance to local communities like Seaside to prepare for that disaster, coordinating government agencies to make sure they're sharing information, and working together and supporting community outreach and education programs. And this is not just about Oregonians. Millions of people in Alaska, Hawaii, Washington State, California also face significant risk. We are overdue for the really big one. Now, I understand that the Cures Act may save lives, but I'm very disappointed that the provisions of the tsunami bill, which is also life-saving policy, was not retained in the underlying bill. Mr. Speaker, again, I urge my colleagues to oppose this rule so we can immediately consider swift passage of the Tsunami Warning Education Research Act. Our West Coast communities are counting on us to keep them safe. And I yield back to Dr.